Here. Can you see it? Right here. Okay, keep it. Alright. She's still breathing and everything, but with her on her side, I think that's what's keeping her breathing. Not blocking her airway.
Today's date is March 9th, 2015. I'm with Sheila Hunt and Trooper Foster, and I'm Sergeant Wyndham, and I'm with the Missouri State Highway Patrol. Okay?
Yes. And this was Saturday morning, I guess. Courtney texted me and asked me if Alyssa, I can't remember the exact text, but something about, did Jeremy have Alyssa that weekend? And I said yes. And she said, well, Jeremy is here, and Alyssa's not with him. So she was letting me know that Jeremy was there and Alyssa and Linda were not. And Courtney is aware that Alyssa's not allowed to be alone with Linda.
Okay. And why did you not want her to be left alone with her?
Because Jeremy said that she was mentally ill and she didn't take her medicine. So I called Jeremy, and he was angry.
Oh.
And I asked him where Alyssa was, and he was upset, and he said, don't worry about it. She's not alone with Linda. She's with my nieces. Well, our written agreement that he signed is that Alyssa will not be left alone with anybody except for his mother, his father, or his sister. You know, I told him, I said, well, I'm going to get my agreement and I'm going to your house with the police and I'm going to pick her up. So I kept trying to call him. I can't remember exactly if he answered any of those times. I believe he may have answered once, and I told him, you know, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm done with these games. You know better. We had actually had this conversation 2 days prior, where he swore to me, Alyssa's never alone with Linda. Because Alyssa had told me she was alone with Linda. And, you know, I said, I'm done with the games. You know, I'm going to call your boss. I'm done. I did keep trying to call him throughout the day. He never did answer his phone again until he did answer one time after I called his boss. So I called her, and then he called me back. And he was crying and upset. And he said, I'm going to spend this last weekend with my kids, and as a Monday, you won't have to worry about me anymore.
You don't know what that meant?
I was worried he was going to harm himself. And then after that, I kept texting, Jeremy, bring her home. I want her home. She's not safe there. He never would respond to a text. He never would respond to a phone call. I didn't know where Alyssa was, who was with her, if she was okay. I didn't know anything. So Courtney texted me that afternoon and said that her kids were coming home. Jeremy was bringing them home at 7. So I said, okay. I said, I'm going to get Alyssa. I said, Alyssa can't be there if your kids aren't there to call for help. There's nobody to call for help if something's wrong. Because I knew Jeremy was upset. I'd already talked to him on the phone. I knew how his state of mind was. And I couldn't leave her there. So she was going to text me when they were on her way. And I was going to go and wait at her house for him. And when he was done with Courtney, I was going to get Alyssa, you know, tell him, hey, I'm taking her home. She texts me, she says they're on their way. So I pull up to the side of her house and I'm waiting. And then I get this text from her and she says, well, Linda's with him. Something's really wrong. He's really nervous. I'm on the side of the house parked this way. Jeremy comes pulling out this way, and I get out of my car and I'm standing there because I thought maybe he'd stop to talk to me. And he didn't. He drove on. So I get in my car and I turn around and I'm leaving, and he stops in the middle of the road for me to catch up. So I keep following, and I keep following him to his house. I mean, we were going the speed limit. I thought, well, crap, you know, they stopped for me to catch up. I'll just go on. I'll go get her. So I pull into his driveway, and I pull up there, close to the garage, and he's in front of the garage, parked his truck. And he gets out. And I walk over to Alyssa's door, and I'm standing there talking to him. I'm waving at her, I'm blowing kisses. Jeremy got out of the car, or out of his truck, and he and I are standing there talking. He said, leave. And I said, no. I said, I'm taking Alyssa home. I said, you violated our agreement. You know, I'm taking her home with me. He said, I said, leave now. And we weren't yelling, nothing. I said, no. I said, I'm staying here until I take her home with me. She's not safe right now. And he said, I'm going to call the police. I said, call them. I said, that's good. They need to be here. So he calls them. I mean, he calls them. He, you know, I've got this going on. I need an officer here. So I didn't think anything of anything. I mean, I wasn't concerned at that point at all. Then he gets done with the police, and like his tone changes, but he's not yelling or anything. But he says, I said leave now. And I said, Jeremy, I said, I'm not leaving without her. I said, I will wait for the police to come. When they tell me to leave, I will leave. He pushed me down.
On the ground?
On the ground. He literally pushed me and I fell down. I got up. I didn't even get to say a word. He immediately pushed me back down. I got up. I looked in the car at Alyssa because I thought she's just seen him push me down. I look at Alyssa. I look at Linda. Linda smiles at me and flips her head, like flips her ponytail. And then I look at him and he's got a gun pointed at me. And I said, Jeremy. He stuck it to my chest and pulled the trigger.
Did you see where he got the gun from?
It came out of his pocket. So he had it on him. I don't know where because I wasn't looking at him.
Did he say anything?
No.
At that point?
Not a word.
Not a word.
Not a word. I crawled in my car. He shot me, and I didn't feel it. The blood just poured. I remember putting my hand over my chest to try to stop the blood. And I remember crawling in my car because I thought he was going to put one in my head. I thought, I got to get out of here. So I crawled in my car, and I got in my car, and I was just gasping for air. I was suffocating. Couldn't breathe. That's all I remember.
Okay. Did you have anything in your hands when you
Oh,
were
no.
talking to him?
No,
anything?
no, my phone was in my car. So no, my phone wasn't with me. It was in the car.
No weapons of any kind?
No, I don't
didn't find
own a
any,
weapon.
I didn't see any.
My biggest weapon is my purse.
Was there any violent
No,
talk or anything?
there wasn't.
Okay. No
Nothing.
threats from either
No.
one of you?
This is the man who tried to murder me, and she saw it. Because this whole thing was to protect her. I took a bullet for her.
What happened to Sheila that night was a tragedy. What happened next was a travesty.
What is
So
it?
two-
Why Jeremy saying
Because Jeremy said that she was mentally ill and she didn't take her medicine.
Huh?
Not much, man. Got screwed up child custody deal. Got out of hand right here in the driveway.
So what happened, man?
We had a child dispute on the child.
Yeah.
She followed me from a residence over to here. We got in a child dispute about the child. I called 911, and she just kept coming after me. And I just pulled my gun and shot her. I didn't know what else to do. And I just pulled my gun and shot her.
Photographs taken at the time of the shooting show no evidence of Grable being assaulted.
Did they already get your gun?
No, it's on the hood of the truck.
Okay, alright, just leave it there. Jeremy, just leave it there.
I think it's chambered out.
Okay. She walked back over to the car and get in, try to leave.
When I did it, she said, "You motherfucker." I don't remember what, man.
He's using a cell phone? Surely the officer watching him will put a stop to this.
I think my parents are coming on their way too.
3 minutes and 21 seconds. That's how long Grable uses this phone without any questioning.
Can they come in the front door?
Yeah, they'll direct them how to get to where they need to go.
Wait. Is that a second phone? Why would Grable have two different phones?
I guess it'd be good for you guys to have this. That's her phone. She dropped it earlier, I picked it up.
Okay.
I didn't even think about it being in my pocket.
Okay.
Just ring it.
He had her cell phone.
For 3 minutes and 21 seconds, Poplar Bluff police allowed Jeremy Grable to use the cell phone of the woman he had just shot. During trial, Hunt confirmed she did not delete any messages from her phone that day. However, the messages to Grable had been deleted.
Okay. Hey, Jeremy, we're going to go down to the office. We're going to go down to the office.
Okay, can I tell them I'm leaving?
Yeah, if you want to tell Linda that we're leaving.
Jeremy, I'm sorry.
Sorry, guys. Just go inside with Linda, please. Please.
You patting me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You want one?
Can I hear what their name was?
Yes.
About 5 or 6 years ago.
Today's one of them days. Yeah, this process is kind of basically what you see on TV. You know, they gotta have some inclination of what was going on. And I'd say probably why they're calling in the highway patrol is to, because we all know you and all friends with you. You know,
Okay, now it's starting to make sense.
if we kick you out the door, no one else can say that we were unbiased in the situation. You know.
Freudian slip, an unintentional error regarded as revealing subconscious feelings.
If we kick you out the door, no one else can say that we were unbiased in the situation, you know. Or say that we were biased in the situations.
See if we had a charger for your phone.
Because we all know you and all friends with you, you know.
Jeremy, I'm just going to be right outside this door and give you a little breathing room for a minute, okay? If you need anything, just holler. I got him some coffee and stuff.
Because we all know you and all friends with you, you know. You got a jacket or anything inside?
No, man, I'm not shaking because of that.
I understand. I understand, but I don't want you to get that way. Because we all know you and all friends with you, you know.
You know, I can walk to my truck and get a chew.
Yeah, I'll go with you. You got some?
No.
I've got some in the car.
I thought I had a can in here.
I've got some in the car, some Grizzly Straight. Because we all know you and all friends with you, you know.
You just got so out of control so quick. And I just...
When they're supposed to get the big South 11th Street project going.
Hell, sometime this year, hopefully.
Huh.
But this here just really does a number for my job.
Yeah.
At the time of the shooting, Grable was in line to become city manager. If appointed, the police department would report directly to him. So the police are investigating their potential new boss? That sounds suspicious, right?
No, I don't think it does. I know it does.
But this here just really does a number for my job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet it does, man.
Well, you know, Jeremy, sometimes you get forced to do things in certain situations where, you know, it...
According to Poplar Bluff police, sometimes you are forced to shoot an unarmed person half your size.
Well, you know, Jeremy, sometimes you get forced to do things in certain situations where, you know, it's...
Just read my whole family, everything.
You're jumping way to conclusions too quick, man. You got a lot going right now. Just, I wouldn't worry about that. I know, I mean, that's easier said than done, but, just don't count your chickens before they're all hatched, you know what I mean? Looks like I saw somebody pulling in, so it shouldn't be too much longer, man.
Grable was out on bail by morning. Sheila would remain in the hospital for 8 days.
He made a 911 call.
I knew he made one, or well, I knew he called sheriff's department, whoever, police department. Then he shot me. So I knew he made one.
He made another one where he actually admitted it. So we've got him.
Okay.
But I got to go over a few things with you that we didn't go over with, okay? I guess his whole anger came from that phone call earlier that morning.
Jeremy, the only thing he's ever cared about is his job. And I was taking that away from him. He called me crying. I had called his boss. He was going to be fired from his job. Because for 2 years, I tried to save things, and he told me everything. He trusted me. And he told me stuff about the city. And, he knew I was going to the mayor with it. Because I knew him. He and some very prominent people in town, the way that he stayed awake that whole time was they did cocaine. And there was pictures on his phone of him and these prominent people in town snorting cocaine. Well, I told him I was going forward with that information too. He and Linda planned this. They needed to get rid of me because I was going to take his job away. Jeremy, he's a sociopath. He's going to kill somebody. It may not be me, but it is going to be somebody.
You did not threaten him with anything other than he was
His
going to
job.
call the job?
His job. His job is what I threatened him with. Yes, I did. That was what I was taking away from him. Was his career that he loved.
Any other crimes that you think he committed or that you saw him commit?
I do know that when he and I were dating, he said he was going to go after my ex-husband with a gun. Because my ex-husband and him did not get along. When they were building the hospital, I know one time he called me, and he had gotten into it with some contractors, and he was going to go shoot them. But I didn't think anything of that, you know what I mean?
Okay. I know a few things as far as and I know that there was an incident with the gun that he had with some contractors.
Oh, you do? Oh, so that's true? See, I thought he was lying.
But don't say him
I
that
won't.
word. Now, there's some support somewhere within the city for him, as there's going to be. Call the police and you just, come down here. And 3 minutes later, he says, I just shot someone. Bottom line is, he's admitted what he did and I've got it on recording, which is good.
Grable was eventually charged with 2 felonies, first-degree assault and armed criminal action. Prosecuting attorney KACEY Proctor took office in January of 2019. Grable's trial started the next month. Just what is the primary job of a prosecuting attorney?
To go after people who are violent in nature and are committing crimes in our community.
Proctor focused much of his attention on the supposed love triangle, despite the fact that Linda had known about it for years.
I had no idea. I had just committed adultery.
And
I called Linda.
Okay.
Yes, I confronted him. I confronted Jeremy. He came. He dropped Alyssa off. And I said, I'm calling her. I said, I know you're married. You came over. We have committed adultery. I'm telling her. And he slammed me up against the wall. I thought he broke my back. He slammed me hard. I called the police. But according to the police, both of us would have to go to jail.
2 witnesses were ready to testify that prior to shooting Sheila, Grable had gone to work and said he had to figure out how to get rid of a body. The next day, he said he'd figured it out. He would tie them up in barbed wire and throw them in the river. Proctor never called on them to testify. Proctor never questioned where Sheila's cell phone was found. Despite a bloody boot print that suggested Grable had to walk past where Sheila had been shot to get her phone. The defense tried to paint Sheila as a homewrecker and a crazy ex.
See, my lawyer says he's trying to use the castle law.
He is trying to use the castle law, but what threat did you pose
I
to him
never
outside
made
the
any
driveway?
threat. When he pushed me down twice, I was going to go wait in my car.
Right.
During the trial, Grable said he knew Sheila did not have a concealed carry permit or own a firearm. Despite this, Grable said he thought Sheila's cell phone was a weapon. That sounds familiar. Where have we heard this before? Ah, yes, it's the standard defense that police give after shooting an unarmed person. Where could Grable have gotten such an idea?
Because we all know you and all friends with you, you know.
After closing arguments, the jury began to deliberate. Despite saying she did not know Grable, it was discovered he had done extensive contracting work on one of the jurors' houses. After just 6 hours, the jury reached its verdict. Jeremy Grable was acquitted on all charges.
I told you so.
There are 2 sets of laws in Poplar Bluff, one for the wealthy and well-connected, and one for the rest of us.